What's going on, draft fans? It's your boy DT back with another 2026 prospect film breakdown. If you have not already checked out the quarterbacks, we are through with that position. About 8 or 9 different breakdowns on the channel, ranging from Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik, Lenora Sellers, all the way up to Fernando Mendoza, Dante Moore, and Ty Simpson. And then we also have a draft talk with DT video where I did an early top 5 ranking of the passers. Obviously, things will change between then and the end of the season for these guys, as well as throughout the entire draft process. But an early look in at some of the strengths and weaknesses of the class as it pertains to the quarterback. Now we're moving into a new position today, wide receivers, the guys who are going to be catching the passes from those quarterbacks. And no better place to start, aptly rocking my USC shirt, and we're going to go right to the University of Southern California. They have 2 great wide receiver prospects, in my opinion, in Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane. They are 2 very different prospects, right? Makai Lemon, 5'11", 195. He's more of a versatile, do-it-all style of back or wide receiver, and you can tell based on his usage and alignment this season for the Trojans. And then Jacoby Lane, 6'4", 200 pounds. He's more of a perimeter player, but he certainly knows how to win with the traits that he possesses. In the 12 games this season for the Trojans, Makai Lemon has 79 receptions for 1,156 yards, which leads the Big Ten, a conference that has Jeremiah Smith in it, by the way. And he has 11 receiving touchdowns. Now, he also adds 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown on his lone pass attempt of the season. So 14 total touchdowns for Makai Lemon. Jacoby Lane has 49 receptions for 745 yards, both career highs, and 4 receiving touchdowns. So let's dive right into the tape and see what we can find. All right. We have about 15 plays loaded up in the hopper here. It's going to be a mix, both of plays for Makai and plays for Jacoby. They're not in any specific order other than chronologically how the games happened. So it's not Makai Lemon first, then Jacoby Lane. It is certainly mixed throughout chronologically. And as always, I'll be drawing it up as best as I can. So first play here, we have Makai Lemon making a great catch on a contested corner post route. So you see him here in the slot. Right there he is in the slot. He's a little bit of a bulkier player. And then you have Jacoby Lane, for what it's worth, out here on the perimeter. So Lane and Lemon here, the 2 L's. Lemon in the slot. He's going to run a corner post. So he's going to go out and then come back in. He's going to make a contested catch over the middle. We'll play it through. They motion the tight end over to a 3-by-1. This is against the Iowa Hawkeyes, so a formidable defensive opponent. Great job going up and getting it, climbing the ladder for Makai Lemon, excuse me, not teammate Makai Blackman of a couple years ago. You'll see it right here. He's going up against number 6, whether he's the safety or the slot corner. I believe he's the slot corner based on the player driving down at the 40-yard line. So you have Makai Lemon here. He's going to take advantage of this blind spot. He's going to get behind the DB, and then he's going to fake out. And then as the DB turns around to match that movement, Makai is going to then switch out and come back across the middle. And you're going to have to see the DB in a complete washing machine spin cycle trying to keep up with Makai here. So great route running, in my opinion, by Lemon. Right there, finds the blind spot of the wide receiver or the DB. Look at all that separation. We'll go back and play it slow. So he leans out here on that corner part of the corner post. And as the DB is starting to spin around to match it, he puts his right foot in the ground, drives back across the middle of the field here. And now the DB is lost again. So the DB is going out. Lemon's cutting back in. And now the DB has to speed turn one more time. And now the middle field safety is coming across to make a big hit or a contested play at the ball. Makai Lemon climbs the ladder. No regard for his body at this point, truthfully. Car crash collision at the catch point. and he comes down with it. So just a super play by Makai Lemon to really get the film. It's eye-popping, a lot of these plays with Makai Lemon, and this was a great start to the film. We'll see it from the back end. Maiyava takes the play action. Just incredible stuff there from Makai Lemon. You see the taking advantage of the DB there along the right side. Cuts back across. His man has no chance, so it's really him versus single high safety. Again, just doesn't really care about his body. Goes up and gets it. Hard fall. Luckily, the DB's there to cushion it a little bit. Great chunk play for Makai Lemon. Now we have a sideline catch here by Jacoby Lane. You'll see him down at the bottom left. He's going to run outside release fade. Maiyava's going to do a good job getting it to him. They motion over. Oh, excuse me. This is the comeback play. There's a different play, similar setup, where Jacoby Lane runs a fade ball. So he's going to run a hitch route, and Maiyava, he's going to run the play fake. Again, number 6, the DB against the receiver that's getting the pass thrown to him. Perhaps USC has identified number 6 as one of their weaker members of the secondary. Jacoby Lane's kind of in the blind spot of the DB, what looks like cover 3, and he's kind of crashing towards the tight end running up the seam. Jacoby Lane has an outbreaking route on a comeback, and Maiyava does a great job if you want to do a little bit of quarterback evaluation. Maiyava does a great job with the defender hanging all over him, not able to step up into his throw, falling away to a wide open Jacoby Lane. That is 7 yards of separation between him and the DB. Great catch on the sideline as well for a good finish, because Maiyava had to throw out of a sack. It was very inaccurate, but Jacoby Lane, great play to get it on the sideline there. We'll see it from the back angle. You'll really see Maiyava have no room to make this throw. Motions the tight end over to 2x2. Right there, he really has to get away from the sack first and foremost. Looks like the center gets beat. Swim move by 95, right up the A gap. Maiyava does a great job evading to his left, throwing with the DB or with the D lineman draped around his ankles. Obviously, it's not going to be the most accurate pass. It could have been way better than what it was. And then Jacoby Lane making a Sunday catch, not a Saturday catch, on the sidelines, getting 2 feet in bounds. Great job. One great play from Lemon, one great play from Lane. Here we go again. Makai Lemon, route running. He's going to be in the slot here, slot right. He's going to run a corner route. So he's going to go up the hash and then break out. Maiyava scrambles out to his right. Good little nod at the top of the route by Makai Lemon. And again, great catch on the sideline by the receivers. So you see Makai Lemon starting his release. He's getting on the DB's toes here, thinking that that's going to be his man, but they pass it off. And Makai Lemon, instead of just, bending the corner here, I think, and again, this is, complete speculation on my part, but it looks like Makai Lemon could easily break out and start his corner route now. But instead, he notices that he's getting passed off, so he continues working vertically at that single high safety, right? So we'll rewind it a little bit so I can explain what I'm saying. So Makai Lemon up against his DB right here. He gets on the toes of the DB because he thinks that that's going to be his man in coverage, whether it's man-to-man or what have you. So now that he's past him, that DB is passing him off to the safety who's standing the single high spot. And Makai Lemon, noticing that, instead of bending his corner here and allowing this safety to get over the top, he decides to keep working at the DB. He gets more depth, and then he breaks it out and gives that safety way more room to have to cover to make the pass. Right there. He turns back in, and then he goes back out. Unless it was a corner post corner route and he was supposed to do like a pseudo triple move there, maybe. But I think that's just route running savvy as well by Makai Lemon to get more vertical in his stem before breaking out, knowing that the DB that is going to be covering him is number 4 and not number 6. So right here, he's beating his DB right there. He works up more vertically, puts that left foot in the ground. And now that safety has to cover a lot more ground to make a play. And again, great catch on the sideline for a Sunday finish, 2 feet and possession of the ball. All right. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Makai Lemon, corner route, good route running. Here he is in the slot left. Him and Jacoby Lane lined up on the same side, left side. They run what I'm used to calling, I guess, a smash concept. They get a corner route from Makai Lemon, and they get a hitch route from Jacoby Lane. Mayava is going to put it in a great spot, little soft spot in the zone for Lemon. Right here. So Jacoby Lane sits on the hitch route, and his DB stops with him. Mayava noticing this. Also, he notices that this DB is kind of just sitting here as like an overhang. So again, it's Makai Lemon one-on-one with a single high safety on an outbreaking route. And this time, Makai Lemon wins again. Outbreaking route. Mayava notices that DB cannot make up all that room. The pass is already on the way. Number 8 can't fall off it quick enough. This DB can't cut his angle off enough. And Makai Lemon, great sit in the zone too. He could have overran this route very easily. Looks like it's also raining based on their feet. All the water kicking up where it had just stopped raining. So great job by Makai. And finishes with a tough couple yards after the catch. We'll see it from the back angle. You'll only be able to see the window that Mayava throws into. So right here, Makai is obviously in a really good spot between those triangle of Iowa defenders. Great catch with the DB diving at his feet and the safety kind of over pursuing in the wet. And a really good finish to get inside the red zone for the Trojans. All right, same thing, blind spot corner post by Makai Lemon. So he's in the slot to the top. Jacoby Lane to the top on the perimeter. Motion the tight end down. Outbreaker, inbreaker. Takes advantage of the DB's blind spot. Should have been a touchdown. Not great accuracy from Mayava, but damn good enough. You're going to see Makai Lemon working on this DB. In or out then in. Sorry for the rough drawing. Working against that slot corner. Right here, he knows that if he's, because I think the safety drops down right here at the 25-yard line. I think this DB knows that he has no help to the middle, so he's trying to funnel Makai Lemon this way. So he's doing his responsibility, but Makai Lemon just does a better job of taking advantage of that, working on a corner and then cutting back across on the post route to really take advantage of the DB there. So solid job by the DB. You can't really fault him for doing what is asked of him when he has no help over the top. But boom, Makai takes advantage of his blind spot here, has his back turned to him, gets underneath him, and now he has to speed turn. He's already starting the speed turn. Even that 2 or 3 yards of separation is great. Now, if I'm Maiyava, and the pass is already thrown at this point, if I'm Maiyava, I'm trying to layer this one out in like this area over the top to try to give Lemon a better chance to catch it. Unfortunately, he puts it on him to a point where it's too upfield and Lemon has to be draped all over while catching it. So it does make Makai Lemon look a lot better with the contested catch. But it definitely could have gone for 6 if he threw it more horizontally on the pass. I think this back angle will show it a little bit better. And these are just the little things with Jaden Maiyava, that I've noticed watching him on film. It's not perfect, but a lot of times it's really good. So, boom, Makai takes advantage of the DB. And see how he catches it right on the hash. If that was, in line with, the middle of the logo here, that would have probably been 6 points for the Trojans. But you see Makai Lemon here, he's taking advantage of the DB, gets the DB to turn, and then takes advantage again, has to turn back. Great play by Makai Lemon. All right, next play is a little bit of Makai Lemon in run blocking, a good second level block by Makai Lemon in the slot, and then he recovers a fumble, so a very heady, high IQ play to jump on the fumble by Lemon. He's in the slot right, Jacoby Lane on the perimeter. There he is working up to the linebacker. Does a good job. Or excuse me, on the safety. That's working downhill. We'll show it from the back angle. So you don't see the safety that Makai is supposed to block on this angle just yet. Now you do. Number 4. So number 4 working downhill is the safety in the run fit. You'll see Makai come off the left side of your screen. Works up to him right here. Great job. Immediately stalemating number 4. Gets his hips squared, turned around so that he can close off that lane for the running back to slip in right off his left side, right? So Makai comes in with speed, gets hands on, engages, turns his hips square right here. Boom. That left foot in the ground, keeping his balance to get back up and get back inside and allow that running back to gain a couple extra yards off his block. Great job by Makai Lemon. Jacoby Lane, great outside of the frame Randy Moss style catch. So you have a bunch formation to the left. Makai Lemon is the bottom man of the bunch, and Jacoby Lane is the point man here. I believe it's a crossing route for Jacoby Lane, and he's going to moss the second level defender. Yeah, so Jacoby Lane runs the crosser in like a mesh concept, turns back around to help the quarterback in like this slight scramble drill. Perhaps the play is even drawn up this way. So you have Jacoby Lane on a crosser, and then you have this eligible on a crosser as well. Jacoby Lane's going to get open because he peels back and turns back this way towards the middle of the field. And Maiyava finds him. He goes up over the second level defender. So there's the mesh right there. Nobody's really open. So Jacoby Lane just turns upfield Number 42 or 43, whoever his defender is, has the back to the quarterback. So Makai does a great job of taking advantage of that. Puts it in a spot where only his guy can get it. Great win by Lane. Great heads-up play by both him and Makai to understand that what each other was thinking, I guess, in that moment. We'll see it on the back angle. Lane will be coming in from the right-hand side, right there. So now at the mesh point, nobody's really open, but Makai is kind of staring him down. 43 picks him up in coverage. The tight end just kind of sits in the middle of the field, but Jacoby Lane turns upfield. Makai notices this, puts it right on him, goes up over the linebacker. Excuse me. Great win for Lane. So a lot to be impressed with these two wide receivers so far. Different guys, obviously, but they certainly have a lot to like about each of their skill sets. Now, this one's an interesting play. You're going to see up at the top of your screen, Jacoby Lane is running off the field. Makai Lemon is running on the field very last second. Maybe just a personnel confusion by the Trojans. Regardless, Lane off, Lemon on. Now Lemon takes the sole receiver spot up at the top of the screen. He's going to win. DB is going to carry with him. Great crosser touchdown. Makai Lemon does really it all for this Trojan offense. And you can see it already halfway through this game against Iowa. Tons of highlight plays. Winning at all levels, whether it's the boundary, across the middle, contested catches, finding the soft spot in the zone. You see him here, just a little bit of separation is enough separation, and he's always going to win at the catch point. I shouldn't say always, but majority of the time you feel very comfortable with him winning at the catch point. Here we have Jacoby Lane, just a good post route up at the top of the screen. Underthrown ball by Jaden Makai. Lane's the number one to the top of the screen. Outside leverage by the defensive back, which is great for a post route. Double high, which is good for a post route as well. We'll pull it back. It doesn't look like a ton, but Jacoby Lane, I mean, first of all, these strides are very great at, closing speed or closing distance between him and the DB. So he's already matched up with the DB in his back pedal. Looks like a too high safety look. So you would think that you'd be able to throw the post route. This safety moves down on Makai Lemon, who is on like a dig route or a crossing route. Jacoby gets behind them on the post, but unfortunately this DB also falls back and he gets in the play. So it kind of looks like double coverage by the time the ball gets there. But right here, Lane has beaten his guy. And I think if Makai throws it more upfield and less horizontal, that he has a chance for this. Ultimately, it's a little underthrown and ends up incomplete. But I think Jacoby Lane does a good job on the route itself. And I just think the amount of grass that he covers with his strides is ridiculous. Sells the play fake. See, look, Jacoby Lane has him beat. If you throw this like out this way more, where he has to just run vertically to it and not bend as much, watch how much he bends. So he's already at the hash. Again, if he threw that ball, you see, if this is the route that he took to get to this path, if he instead threw it like that in this area here, I think it would have been a touchdown or at least a completion. So little things, nitpicking about Jaden Makai, but I do like the wide receivers that he's throwing to. Here we go. Jacoby Lane again, outside release Go ball. He's at the bottom of the screen. He's running outside release. Great job putting it on him by Jaden Mayava. Great job coming down with it. This is the stuff that you love to see from your 6'4" wide receiver. They motion. So Jacoby Lane, you can see, is kind of looking back towards this ball. Not the most accurate of passes, but to track it in like that, this little bit of separation at the top. So that DB is, hip for hip with him. A little bit of hand fighting right there. This last step, he puts his right foot in the ground, fades a little bit to his left at the last second. The DB can't match with him. Some late hands. It's really a one-handed catch. His right hand doesn't really touch the ball at all. Great pass in the bucket. Great catch by Lane. Definitely a highlight play for him. All right, we have a Makai Lemon touchdown here on a bubble screen. He's at the top as the number 1. They're going to motion over this tight end to a bunch formation. And in my opinion, when I was watching this play, I was trying to, preemptively guess what was going to happen. I thought the tight end was going to keep going out this way. But instead, what they have the tight end do is run a little bit of like a hook sit. This other tight end is going to run a corner, and Makai Lemon is going to run a bubble route here. So we'll see the tight end motion over, and instead of the tight end screen, they run it to the wide receiver, Makai. He's one-on-one with his defender in space. As you can see, the DB type widening with Makai. Also, we have to note, you can barely see this guy on the screen because of the sun glare that he's running his route right into. A lot of times coaches will choose not to run routes into the sun. This time they do. He's a little bit out of it by the time he makes the catch, but he catches it here, maybe about 2.5 yards of separation from his defender. Like, you would think one of those 3 Oregon Ducks is probably going to catch Makai Lemon at this point, but he uses every blade of grass on the width of the field to get to the pylon. Great finish by Makai Lemon. Here we have the double pass, the wide receiver double pass by Lemon for a touchdown on the front pylon. So the target receiver is the guy at the bottom of the screen. They're going to run Lemon in motion, and then they're going to backwards pass it to him behind the line of scrimmage on the right-hand side of the screen. And he's going to do his best Breece Hall versus the Cincinnati Bengals impression. You see him come in motion. They fake it to him. Losses his guy at the front pylon. But it just goes to show the versatility of Makai Lemon and everything he can do for an offense. Again, Makai Lemon, corner post route. A little bit of a miscommunication between him and the quarterback. But again, route running prowess. Lemon, bottom of the screen. Now he's working on the safety. Just finds the blind spot every time of these DBs. Unfortunately, Mayava is a little bit confused on when to throw it. So Lemon's going to run, again, get on the toes of the DB, go in, and then break out. But Mayava must think that he's just going to stay on the post because that's the route that he throws. Luckily, it's not picked off by the single high safety. Can't get over there in time. But this is great. Again, DB has no chance here. Back to him. Makai Lemon understands that. Gets on his toes again. DB's turned around. But the thing is, Lemon cuts back in, whereas Mayava's already let go of the ball. So maybe it was supposed to be a double move and Makai Lemon turns it into a triple move. Or that's how it was always drawn up on the play sheet. And Makai was wrong. It's hard to tell. Nonetheless, a miscommunication. But I love the fact that Makai Lemon takes advantage of the blind spot of defensive backs. Here we have Jacoby Lane, contested catch, strong hands. He's at the top of the screen in the sun. Crosses the face of the DB, goes up and gets it over the safety coming across the middle. So there he is in the sun glare at the top of the screen. Starts with like an outside release, crosses the face of the DB, gets inside. Safety coming over the top. Pass again, not in the greatest spot, but if it was too far upfield, perhaps it's a hospital ball. So he tries to put it like right on Lane, not really leading him. He goes up and gets it. Luckily, he avoided work with here for Jacoby Lane, but him and Makai are a little bit fearless in that regard where they just go up and get it. And you would think the DB would get a really love the tenacity and the fieriness of these receivers. All right, here we have Makai Lemon, quick out for a touchdown. He's in the slot to the bottom of the screen. He's going to run really quick out to the front pylon. Easy pitch and catch. The speed at which he wins with on his routes is pretty impressive too. Just how quickly. So the ball is snapped. Boom, he wins his route. Taps the pylon, gets in. Really, really like this stuff from Makai Lemon. The simple stuff when you're down in the red zone. Fakes. Little hesitation step here. Gets his left foot in the ground. Breaks out. 1.5 yards of separation, but it's all you need. I think a lot of people would say this is a low throw from Makai, but he puts it damn near perfectly for where you want it to be. You don't want it to be too high for Lemon to go up and get it, where he can get pushed out of bounds if it's too far toward the sideline. He puts it more on him, low and away, where he can catch it low, bend that corner there, and get into the end zone. So, for Jacoby Lane as well. So that's going to do it for this review. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like Makai Lemon? Do you like Jacoby Lane better? I know they're very different stylistically as far as receivers. If you're looking at it from a Jets perspective, Makai Lemon would probably be your selection if you stuck with the pick in the first round and took him in the top 10. Perhaps you can get cute and try to trade down from that pick if the quarterback you don't want is there. I don't think you will be able to get him with your pick from the Indianapolis Colts, even if it is a top 18 pick. I think Makai Lemon is a pretty surefire top 12 to 15 player right now on most, sites. That's obviously a lot to be filled in terms of the blanks of his scouting evaluation, but I don't think he would last to the Indianapolis Colts pick unless the wheels fall off for Indy, which it very well could, and they end up with like a 12th or 13th overall pick. Maybe you can get Makai Lemon. Perhaps you trade up 2 spots. So that's the range that you're looking at with Makai Lemon. As far as Jacoby Lane, you could probably, I don't want to say you have to get him in the first round. You could probably get him with the Jets' natural second-round pick, even, if you want to risk it with the Cowboys' second-round pick, which is going to be probably top 50 to top 55. I think Jacoby Lane is definitely in that conversation. I don't know where he'll ultimately end up for media members. And, once they talk to these teams and get their evaluations, obviously their rankings will reflect what those teams tell them. So Jacoby Lane right now is probably a top 50 prospect. Is he a top 40 prospect? I'm not sure. Some might even have him in the top 35, top 30. So there's definitely a wider range for Jacoby Lane in terms of his draft positioning right now. But Makai Lemon, I think, is very safely a top 15 pick, if not a top 12 pick in this draft. So Let me know what you think in the comments. Who would you prefer the Jets to have? Makai Lemon would be the slot guy to let Garrett Wilson be on the boundary, but you can interchange those. And then Jacoby Lane would probably be your perimeter guy, where Garrett Wilson would bump in to your primary slot position, where it's him and Mechie in the slot, and then AD and Jacoby Lane on the perimeter. So just roughly thinking about it like that in the Jets offense. Let me know in the comments below which wide receiver you would prefer. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. A bit of a longer film breakdown, but it's a twofer, so I hope everybody appreciates it. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,200 or to 2,000. Thank you again for 1,200 subs. I certainly appreciate it. DT signing out, saying